Blog Talk Radio.
Steve Dawson, if you're listening, call in. Steve Dawson. Should I call? Shouldn't I call? That is the question. So come on, Steve. Come on, call in 646-595-2071. We're on hold. I'm looking for your call. Yeah, that was 7 minutes ago. So I don't know if Steve is still listening.
I like Steve's setup he's got with this.
I love what they're doing. I mean that is just a whole different level of witnessing in a very non-confrontational way. Just being out there with information, rosaries, pamphlets, setting up, and if people want to come over and learn the truth. And what's the name of that entire ministry, Ross? So I can give that a shout.
St. Paul's Street Evangelization, I think.
Okay. Yeah, and if anyone wants an amazing cause to donate to, that is a great Catholic cause. They're just kind of out there giving the facts about Catholic truths and answering questions, and they're bearing great fruit from what I've heard.
They're the triage. In other words, these poor Calvinists and rad trads and everybody else that come off the front lines with us. We send them over to the triage. They come over there just whipped and beaten after they deal with us, and after they deal with the hammers, and then after they get humbled, then they'll go over to the triage.
Well, I've got a caller here. Is that you, Steve?
Free rosaries. We got free rosaries here.
Free rosaries. There's those Stevie boy.
What's up, guys?
Nothing, Stevie. We're just doing our thing.
Oh, I only got a few minutes here, but I thought I'd give you a call and see how you're all doing out there in Blog Talk Radio land.
Well, we never know, but we have fun. We have fun just doing what we're doing, and this is kind of like the Amway business, where you might go in and spin the circles and nobody shows up, but you responsor yourself. You responsor yourself. So it's like we're all getting excited to go to the feast, and we know the Lord's going to show up at the feast, and we don't know if anybody else is going to show up, but we just keep doing what we're doing, and then if the Lord decides that that He wants to throw us a bone, then He throws us a bone, and to be honest with you, it's fun because you're kind of one of those bones, and vice versa. You've kind of come in and you're doing something really fun and exciting and you're setting it up right, and you sent me that private message the other day, yesterday or whatever, earlier today or last night, and no, you've definitely got the platform. We're just going to kind of phase in with you and try to support you and duplicate what you're doing. There's no reason to have.
Steve, we have a little bit of time. Why don't you tell our listeners what exactly it is that you guys do?
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys got a little bit of time, but I have to be at dinner at 6 somewhere.
Okay.
But I do have a few minutes. St. Paul Street Evangelization is a lay apostolate that I started just about 5 months ago to take the Catholic faith to the streets. I had been very involved in pro-life activism, 40 Days for Life, and other things like that. And since my conversion, or more technically reversion to the faith, and I kept really feeling upon my heart that we were never going to put a stop to abortion or the homosexual marriage issue or any of the other grave moral evils in this country until we converted the culture. And I just, I kept praying about, how do we do that? And I asked my wife, I said, well, when was the last time you were out somewhere and someone evangelized you to the Catholic faith? And she said, never. I said, well, it's never happened to me either. So I just kept asking my different friends that same question, and nobody, not once, ever said that they were evangelized out on the streets to the Catholic faith. So we decided to do that, take the Catholic faith to the streets in a simple, non-confrontational way. Set up a sign and allow people to come to us. And it is, I just have to say, it's so amazing,
What's amazing about it too what I'm excited about is the duplication side of it too, because it is non-confrontational, and it is such a neat format that how many different areas do you think you have going now? How many different little triages? I call them triages, my nutty personality.
Shoot, you know what? It's hard to keep track of, honestly. We're getting new people every day contacting me for information about joining us and starting up new locations. So I think we have five or six that are active. They're currently out on the streets. But I mean, we're starting up in California, in Southern California, New York, and Missouri.
Soon to be Boise.
Boise, we're coming to Boise.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm here, and I have a connection in the mall here that I'm going to be in the mall all winter doing my kiosk business, and I don't see any reason why, in the days that I'm not doing my kiosk business, I can't get a little mall operation going that I was going to tell you about. So I think that I'm going to be able to be in there at least one day a week in the mall, probably
Absolutely.
on a Sunday.
Yeah, and it's the weather's going to turn here in Portland, where we have the base of our operations. We're probably it's the biggest operation in the country right now. We're touching so many hearts, and we've been racking our brains about how do we keep this thing going all year long. And the idea did come up to set up a kiosk, so we're working on that. And that idea actually didn't come from you, Ross, believe it or not. But it came from, there's a priest who comes up from California, he's a Dominican, and he rents a kiosk every year for in one of the local malls for a month. So I think we're gonna jump on board with that and see if we can integrate that for maybe 3 months.
Yeah, and you actually mentioned that the mall thing to me, and so you gave me the idea because I'm in the mall, in that time. So it's a beautiful thing. The kiosk, you can't go wrong. I'll hook you up with the right way to get a kiosk. I've got 3 of them. I've got 3 of them. So I'll show you.
Well, I'm coming to visit you in I don't know, a couple weeks here.
Yeah,
I'm going to be I'm going to be in town.
Are you coming with your wife?
Yeah, we're going to visit a friend maybe about 3 or 4 hours north of you, and we're going to leave a day early, and we're going to swing by and meet Muffy, and we're going to bring our stuff, and we're going to set up out there and see what we can do in a few hours on maybe a Sunday if you have any ideas of where we can set up.
Well, are you going to need a place to stay for that night?
If we come in on Saturday, we will, or we could stay in a hotel, or we might come in Sunday early morning. We would leave early morning and then maybe get there around 10. Okay. So
either way, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm your Boise operation. Your Napa Boise operation. So.
Well, I got some hammers. Lee is looking to start one up over in I don't know where he's at, Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Uzi is over in Chicago. He's actually going to connect with one of our groups that's already set up in that area, and he's going to
Jim, who was just on the show, is game too. I had talked to them, Lee and Uzi, or Lee and Jim, about doing something, the same exact thing, but we're going to integrate it into your platform. I mean, we're just going to be satellite little St. Paul, satellite little deals, because we're all in this together.
And like I said to you before, movement catches fire faster than a bunch of little groups out there doing their own thing.
I agree.
So I would help anybody. If you guys wanted to go up on your own or whatever, that's cool. But if we all join together,
there's no reason to go. The church gets all the glory. God gets all the glory. There's
absolutely.
there's no Lone Rangers here. You know, we're all part of the same body. So and that's great. That and because we're just getting started. I'd like to get 4 or 5, 3 or 4 little satellites going down here. I mean, I'd like to get me doing it, and then see if I can't get another area over in Boise doing it. And I'll tell you, I'm in these trade shows heavily, and there's the opportunity from these trade shows. The Spectra, the guy that owns Spectra Productions, I went to high school with, is a very good friend of mine. I'm in his trade show, so I can set up a booth during the fair if I wanted to. And put somebody in there and just blow everybody's mind in there with a Catholic booth in the fair.
Absolutely. And the vision here for me is not just one group in each city, but 50, 100,
Yeah.
These things can go up in such a small area. If you got foot traffic, it's game. It's game on. People are coming up, they're talking to you, that they're interested, and you're just the Holy Spirit's really using us to bring people back into faith, to clear up misconceptions about the faith.
Absolutely.
Every day we go out. It's amazing, and we get 100 of these things going on all around the country in each city, and we're going to really make some waves. I'll tell you what.
Absolutely. I'll get into my pictures right now, and while I'm sitting here chatting with you, and I'll get a picture of a kiosk, and I'll show you these kiosks, how easy this is. I'll show you a little portable kiosk in a black bag and stuff that you might even consider,
using out on the street.
Well, it's cool because in all the fairs I've ever been to, Steve, I have to say there's probably been a pro-life booth, but I can't recall ever seeing a Catholic booth at a fair, just to share the faith. And my gosh, the riches that we have to share, why have we been so quiet about our faith all these years?
Well, we don't have to be, and that's going to change. We're here with the hammers. We're on the forefront of change in the church to bring the faith to the streets, to Facebook, like you guys are doing, to all areas of culture. And, the new evangelization is all about re-catechizing the de-Christianized Western culture that we live in. It's starting with our Catholic brothers and sisters who have fallen from the faith, and maybe most of the time what we're finding don't even realize they have. So we have a lot of work to do, but I think the days are going to be changing where, when you ask a friend, when was the last time you saw a Catholic out there evangelizing, they'll say, oh, you know what? It was last weekend at the fair or in the city right on the street, Yeah.
Yeah, or just simply, at the mall.
Right. Everywhere. We need to get out there everywhere, in every different type of media, on YouTube, on Facebook, out on the streets. I mean, we need to really work hard to bring this thing back to our culture so we can convert it and stop the degeneration that's going on and the collapse of our society, which is going to happen if we don't do something about it. We have to do something about it.
Well,
amen.
And you know what? It's exciting because if you're near your computer, I just posted a picture of Johnny at one of the stores I work, and you can double click on it, and you'll see this little kiosk. It's so portable. You can. There's got 3 shelves. So on the other side, it's got a shelf in the middle, so you can put coffee, or you can get, you could put a bunch of rosaries in there, and on the special offer sign there, that's just a flat. You could put your St. Paul's evangelizing thing on there, and you can have those professionally made up. Those are real easy to do, and that thing just folds up and goes into a bag, and off you go. So, and they're about a nice one like that. I think you can get them $180 to $350, $180, a couple $100, which is cheap. If you've heard Nightmares of Kiosk, your big kiosks and stuff, you can spend $5,000 to $10,000 for a big kiosk.
Right.
That's a little portable one for $300 or less.
Right, and part of the reason why we use picnic blankets here in the city of Portland is because anything else we would have to get a permit, like $130 a day. But we can set up a sign. Yeah, yep,
exactly.
Wow.
So you would have to have a permit for a kiosk.
Yes, I think we probably would. Actually, I'm sure, because a table, if we brought a table out there, a folding table, we'd have to pay for a permit. So to avoid all that, we just get a blanket. It works perfectly. The police don't mess with us, and it's covered under freedom of speech, and we really So that's why we're using a blanket. Sometimes we go out, we don't even bring a blanket, and we just stand there, hand out rosaries, talk to people.
Sure.
And the most important thing is just, for me, I believe it's the sign. That sign says Catholic Truth. It's like, okay, what is that? Let's go check this out. Free rosary, free rosary as people are walking by. That's what we do. It brings them in. The first question out of our mouth, are you Catholic? Are you Catholic? And from that one question, we can go into every single topic. Yes, we're Catholic. Find out about that. No, we're not Catholic. Well, let's talk about that,
Well, guys, I hate to interrupt, but we've got about 25 seconds left. Steve, we are going to have you back on our show because I think this is really important, and I want to spend a little bit more time with you. We're down to 15 seconds. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks, Steve, for calling in. We are going to have you back. And, Ross, I will see you next Tuesday, same time, same place.
Amen.
All right, see you guys. God bless.
God bless. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
That was quick.